God games. In my personal opinion, as the title says, they can't be perfect. Usually not. You usually got RTS games, uh, the hive mind, or what I like to call border movers. I guess we should get into the RTS part. Why not? The idea of a god game being an RTS challenges the very concept of a god game. At least from personal experience. Say you buy a game going and expecting to look at a world develop, thousands of generations pass, hundreds of wars, it's something interesting, and then suddenly you get the tutorial board. This K. What nation would you like to play as? Your entire world begins to crumble into pieces as you realize you won't be spectating or seeing some interesting character rise to power or some cool thing like that. Your entire godly life is at risk from goddamn Gandhi. What the fuck? RTS has ever been my cup of tea. I mean, I enjoy playing them every once in a while, like Rise of Nations, because, I'm not trying to be God, I'm competing purposefully, which I guess is the whole purpose of an RTS. You're buying it for the RTS part. It just infuriates me that some consider themselves as God games. Number 2. The Hive Mind. The Hive Mind, this game type, I call it that, because it's like a sort of tycoon feel, like a more advanced Roblox game, if you feel me, but like not. Yeah, okay, you got games like RimWorld, Oxygen not included, and this is a very far stretch, but hear me out. Cookie Clicker. These games, in my opinion, have, if not a lot in common, they have one thing. You essentially control, like, multiple people, you feel me? Like, you're the brain, and they just kind of do what you want. Kind of like an ant colony, let's be honest here. So, like, a lot of ant games have that in common, too. Each one given, like, a task, all that shit. And to keep it spicy, they, like, throw in, like, a little event. Like, small little events that, like, put dopamine in your brain or some shit. Cookie Clicker is just that without the events, and you're just having an auto clicker on. You're not trying. It sound personally torturous playing RimWorld, and all they do are the tasks. Never discovering something cool like fucking somebody in a stasis pod, or fucking ore. Never a raid. No aliens falling from the sky. Just building and living. That's a waste of my, like, Friday night. I don't know about you, but I'd fucking hate that, personally. It's the same thing with Oxygen. For my end, I don't know a whole lot. I know that there's, like, tasks, you have to expand, get rid of the oxygen. I don't know if there's an end to the game. I just know it gives a similar feel to RimWorld, where you're just controlling people. They don't have any mind of their own. You're not seeing any relationships develop like you're watching a TV show. Instead, you are the TV show. Which is why probably a lot more content creators maybe play it for content. I know it probably has a decent fan base. I just don't find the appeal. Now, moving on to the end gamer. Border Mover. And this one's going to be a little controversial, because I know these games aren't for that purpose, but I use them that way. Worldbox and, like, various Paradox games, specifically ones that give you observer mode, have that feel. They've created, like, a subgenre that I specifically called the Border Move God game. And essentially, you're given, like, a map, like something like Worldbox. It has nations that you can create, or they're already there, like fucking Hoi 4 or some shit. You could, like Worldbox, you could wipe out an entire empire, or you could just not touch it, and then something else could happen entirely. My only problem is there's not many screams when the orcs are ravaging the world, which is my problem. Now, don't get me wrong. Paradox can be fun to watch. They got events, all that shit, right? Without those, could you imagine how boring it would be to just see, like, Germany rise, or some boring shit like fucking the US comes out of nowhere and, like, nukes, and then they win? It's just, you're just watching a fucking YouTube video of what happened in World War II without the commentary. It's a little boring, but a little satisfying. Now, Worldbox, don't get me wrong, the game has some really big updates coming that I personally am excited for. I've been keeping tabs. This one I've actually been keeping tabs. The others I don't study. You think I study for these videos? You think I do? What the fuck is wrong? Why did you click on this video? The other updates include for Worldbox, like they have clans in within the nations, like, and those clans have like family trees, which is really cool that I've never seen before. That I'm actually kind of excited. They have ages, like they have the ages of Ash, like probably seasons changing, and also events that challenge the nations themselves, which I find cool. The family trees and all that shit kind of gives the vibe of like a pixelated Crusaders Kings, but from what I've seen, it could get more complex, which I have hopes for it being my actual wet dream. In conclusion, there wasn't really any point. I just felt like, you know, rambling off, so I hope this gave you some entertainment for like however many minutes this video was. God games, at least at the moment, aren't complex enough for me to get true joy, I guess. I kind of want that feeling of sentience, you know? I won't lie, I've invested a lot of time in a Worldbox. I've invested a lot of time into, like, singular worlds. The only reason is, don't get me wrong, the imagination is a bitch. It'll fucking have you invested in a world for hours, maybe days, maybe months. I don't know. I can make a fucking story that'll make you cream. Anyways, the technology and detail is probably in our time. I just don't think the fan base, like the theoretical fan base for this kind of game I'm describing, could be forged because of how little people care or have the ability to. I don't think there's enough people here that could make my wet dream of a game. That's my only thing. If you got any gamer recommendations that could fill that part, let me know. I don't know.